right, it's been such a long time, but Youth Assembly is back this week with a bang. My name is Sylvia Ishebe. I hope you all are doing well, and it's Tuesday already, the 29th day of June 2021. Yes, how is the month going so far? I hope good. Well, today on Youth Assembly, we are looking at the cancel culture. How effective is it in effecting social change? Well, if you don't understand what the cancel culture is, we're here to break it down for you. And you will be a part of the discussion, hopefully, and drop your comments and questions if you have any, because I'm not alone. I am with some gentlemen who will be answering some of our questions. So let's jump into it. Okay, so to proponents, cancel culture is an effective way to hold problematic people, especially public figures, accountable. Now, to opponents, it's a rule by the mob and a threat to free speech and even open discussion. Now, whichever way you look at it, cancel culture refers to the public shaming or withdrawal of support employed to hold someone accountable for actions, beliefs, or behaviors that is judged to be offensive. Now, does that ring a bell? Do you know anybody you have cancelled? Let us know. When does this cancel culture become an effective tool to holding people accountable, and when does it become harmful? That is one question we intend to ask today on Youth Assembly. As I have joining me online, Mr. Andy Madaki. Mr. Andy is a communication expert. Welcome, Mr. Andy.
Thanks, Sylvia. It's my pleasure being here again.
Yes, always a pleasure to have you. With all the wealth of knowledge you have, we always look forward to having you speak to us again. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, and I also have joining me. Yes, he is in the car, but hopefully we'll hear him and he'll be audible enough. Mr. Damien, Mr. Damien Marrow is
Yes,
a
good
technoman.
morning.
Yes,
Good
okay, we
morning.
can hear
I'm
you.
glad to be on the show this morning.
Yes, even though you are driving, or no, you're not driving, you're on transit. So hopefully you will contribute perfectly well, and you'll answer our questions, right? Okay, so let's begin. I also have somebody who is joining us. Annette is trying to connect. Annette is a training consultant. Her name is Annette Bodia. Her video is not here yet, but hopefully we'll get to bring her on board. Okay, she's here. Annette, welcome. Hello, Annette. Welcome to Youth Assembly. Yes, good to have you. Okay, let's do this first of all. I will remove Mr. Damien for now. Let's do this. Where do you stand, Annette? Where do you stand, Andy? If are you a proponent or an opponent of the cancel culture?
I'll let Annette start.
Annette, okay. Which one are you? Where do you fall? Are you for it or against it? Okay, I think she's trying to sort that connection out. But Mr. Andy, over to you. What do you
So
think of?
here's what I think.
Okay,
Today I wear my hat as a sociologist, which
okay,
unfortunately means I'll be in the middle because I understand both sides. In recent parlance, cancel culture came back into the fore as a result of the Me Too movement in 2014. Where certain women came to out Hollywood directors and executives who were taking advantage of women. And so this led to a revolution, which also strengthened the feminist movement globally, and has also led to some people being cancelled as a result of their actions. Now, the reason why you have cancel culture is because of a lack of trust or a failure in the judicial system globally. And so when people feel if you take it to the police, nothing will happen, then they try to cancel you so that it stops you from benefiting things which your privilege has given you. Because in most cases, it's people with a position of authority. In Nigeria, for example, we had Evans, the kidnapper, from years ago. We don't know what has happened about him till today. We don't know where he is in the courts. We've had the boy who kidnapped, abducted, and murdered the girl in Akwa Ibom recently. We don't know what's happening in the press. There's the story of Baba Ijesha, which we are hearing about today. And people who don't trust the judicial system will have their suspicions and wants to rather call out the person and cancel the person just so that there's some form of justice. And even if there's no form of justice, the person loses some privileges which they expect. So that's the one side which I say I totally understand. However, on the opposing side,
Okay.
cancel culture gets rid of the belief of being innocent until proven guilty.
Mm,
And in this world today, nobody reads a rejoinder, nobody reads a disclaimer. And so once you've been called out and cancelled, whether it is right or wrong, whether you are acquitted later, all people would remember you for is what you were called out and cancelled for. And so it puts us on the moral high ground and high horse where everybody is forming holier than thou. And it reminds me of Jesus where he says, "He without sin cast the first stone."
yeah.
Everybody is so morally righteous right now. There's this outrage porn where everybody wants to show you like devil without saying that we all play parts in this. And so it doesn't give people the right to prove themselves. Once you've been called out, especially by popular people, it could tarnish your reputation, your image, and there may be almost no going back from it. So those are the two sides.
Hmm.
However, in recent times, in the last 2 3 years, we see that cancel culture is now losing its relevance once again because we've had a couple of false allegations come up. We've had some situations where people have called out people and canceled them, but those people still got endorsement deals, they still got brand ambassadorships, they still got their privilege still working for them. And so the perpetrators now realize that in social media, you cancel me for 1 week, I'll disappear, come back after 1 month, or I'll rebrand myself and people would accept me. So
Hmm.
it's still an evolving scenario, but those are the three sides. One is because of a failure of the judicial system. Two, on the opposing side, is the fact that everybody's moral compass is so high and everybody's holier than thou, become judge and jury. And the third part is that now people are realizing that they can come back from cancel culture.
All right. Okay. So let's hear from Annette. Annette, you've been listening to Andy speak about his opinion, the different sides of this council culture, where he stands. What is your take on this issue? He mentioned holding public figures accountable. One person that has always come up on social media that a lot of youths on social media are canceling is the actor Desmond Elliott. Everything, his name always comes up, even when he doesn't even do anything. His name comes up. So, Annette, what do you think about this? Is it effective? Cancel culture, is it effective enough in holding public figures accountable for their actions?
Well, as as Andrew was saying, actually, there are a lot of sides to the whole cancel culture
Yes.
thing, right? Now, the thing is that in some way, it actually helps the public bring like public figures and specifically like from the
We can't hear you if you can
like
speak
the locals like
louder.
people.
Yes.
Can you hear
Go
me?
ahead.
Okay, so I think that as Andy already indicated, there are a lot of sides to the cancel culture,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Now, the thing is that it does can help put public figures on a straight line if they know that this thing actually works. You understand? So if you call them out and make their because something about public figures is that they don't want their image to be tarnished, right? So they do everything possible or they cover as much as possible to make sure that the society doesn't call out on them, right? So in some way, consequences is actually effective because uh, me knowing as a public figure that whatever wrong I have perpetrated would be called out by the society and by my fans, I would want to be on the straight line, right? You understand? But at the same time, on the other side, as Andrew also said, some people will use it to do harm and not for what it actually is, right? So people will use it to call out wrong people, maybe just to tarnish their image at some point, probably because the person is doing better or because you're jealous. Or some, so there are two sides to it, actually. I feel there's the effective side if it's taken, like, well, as you said, if the allegations are actually true and everything, and not just trying to cancel out someone with false allegation, probably because you want to get back at the person and using the society to do that for you. So there are two sides to the council culture. That there's the side where it can be effective if we use it right, the society use it right, but right now, these days, people tend to be judges, right, in court and take themselves as a court of appeal and judge people for no just reason. And sometimes there are two sides to the story, and the story is never completed if you don't hear the other side. So once you've heard one side, you're like, oh yeah, he's correct, and then it all goes haywire. And then by the time you hear the second side, you're like, oh my god, I just did something wrong, and I just shared someone's pictures or shared someone's videos without having proper evidence, right? Because society is quick
Yes.
to judge. So
Okay.
if you're the first people to come out with the story, everyone is like, okay, we take your side, we take your side. So in some way, cancel culture can be effective if the facts are right. But if someone wants to use, it's possible that other people use the cancel culture for their own good, to tarnish other
Image.
people's images. And so,
Okay.
yeah, it's just to get the right sides and use society beneficiary, not the other way around.
Well, we hear you. All right. Thank you so much, Annette. Now that you mentioned people using it for their selfish gain, we have. Okay. So we have somebody who actually had her own opinion shared on in her recent essay, and that is Chimamanda Adichie about the cancel culture. And she said that there are many social media savvy people who are choking on sanctimony and lacking in compassion, and who can fluidly pontificate on Twitter about kindness, but are unable to actually show kindness. Now, people whose social media lives are case studies in emotional aridity. People far for whom friendship and its expectation of loyalty and compassion and support no longer matter. People who claim to love literature, the messy stories of our humanity, but are also monomaniacally obsessed with whatever is the prevailing ideological orthodoxy. People who demand that you denounce your friends for flimsy reasons in order to remain a member of the chosen Puritan class. People who ask you to educate yourself while not having actually read any book themselves, while not being able to intelligently defend their own ideological positions because they educate, because by educate, they actually mean parrot what I say, flatten all nuance, wish away complicity. Complexity. That's Chimamanda Adichie, the writer and author. Her view on the cancel culture. Now, at this point, I'll bring on board Damien. Damien, you saw that when I took it. What do you think of Chimamanda's take on the cancel culture? Now, she defined people in that category. What is your opinion?
All right. So good morning once again to our guest, and sincerely, I apologize that I'm actually driving. I'm not the one driving though.
Okay.
But the thing is, I beg to differ.
Okay.
I understand Chiman Banda is highly educated, highly respected, and she holds very respect. I mean, she has achieved a lot, and her opinions should be given much respect.
Mhm.
However, we must understand that social media is just like any other kind of media. You understand? It's just another outlet. And the media basically reflects reality. It basically reflects society. So when you meet all sort of people expressing their views and their ideologies and their levels of difference in quality in education, you should not be surprised because the media is simply reflecting the realities and the differences in nuances and differences in levels of understanding. So I would call her to be a little bit more tolerant and say that when you come up on social media, you should be expecting to meet a lot of people with different backgrounds, and social media simply gives everybody a platform. It simply gives everybody an opportunity. So she should be ready to recognize the variation and differences in opinions and perspectives. So that's just
Well,
what I would say.
one issue she pointed out here is people not actually doing their own research to find out if what is being said is actually true or false, but they just jump into the conclusion because it's the order of the day. It's going to make you noticeable, or you just join the trend without actually going deep to see if what you're standing for or against is true or not. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I do understand her position. Like I said, I respect her her opinion, but she must understand that. Okay, I give an instance.
Okay.
Yesterday evening, I was on a live broadcast
Okay.
where a well-respected entertainer was talking about the trolls that send all sort of messages to her sometimes on online. You understand? But you know what she was able to say was she had to recognize that it's not everybody is on her level intellectually. Some people have, you know, I'm just trying to say that Chimamanda needs to recognize the variation in people's levels, in terms of their levels of exposure, in terms of their level of understanding, their education, you know, and the way social media has made it today. In the past, you had people who were respected who would share opinion online, but today
Mhm.
every other person can also do the same. Every other person can also do the same. So it now gives an avenue for every, I'm sorry to use the word, Tom, Dick, and Harry out there to say what he wants to say. And then it's now up to the viewers to be able to kind of decipher um, what is good and what should be taken home and what should be discarded. So I would
Hmm.
just say she should be a bit more tolerant again and understand that where we are today, you know, not much can be censored online. You know, every
Mm.
other person puts his own view out there. You understand? So she should just be ready to recognize those variations. That's just the humble view.
All right, Andy. At this point, what do you think about the issues that Chimamanda has raised, especially with people also not being able to express their different opinions, especially when there have been arguments that the cancel culture silences people with different opinions and does not leave room for such people with opposing views to engage in open conversations. What's your take?
So here's what I feel.
Mhm.
Being a communications person, I'm on TV every week. I'm on social media. And so most times I want to express my opinion and say on Twitter, next thing I get 200 retweets. And then that could be misconstrued as the opinion of the broadcast station which I work for or an organization which I work for, without saying that I have my own faculty to say what I want to say. The reason why I say this is that it now silences the people with maybe a larger following or a larger audience. So, like Damien just said about Chimamanda being tolerant, you need to understand how long this person has kept quiet and tried to be the bigger person. And I say this because I'm also an advocate for mental health. And most times,
Okay.
telling people to be tolerant and to understand other people silences you yourself. And this can now let you implode because the more you keep some of these things in without being able to address it, at some point you'll either get depressed or you'll implode or it will affect your relationship with people. And so someone once said, why should you be mad at how I reacted when someone offended me, as opposed to reacting to why that person offended me? You know what I mean? And so the problem with this is the bigger your following, the more cancel culture can work for or against you. And so we are now in an age where being quiet or being the bigger person means you are guilty. For instance, Chimamanda has been called a homophobe. She has been called a transphobe over the
Hmm.
years, I think since 2017 or 2018, because of an interview. However, in this her article, one of the people who she was addressing
Yeah.
is somebody who is LGBTQIA. And so she was able to get this person in and work with this person. Yet all of that is being ignored and she's still being called a transphobe and homophobe, even by this person. At what point do you come out and address this issue? It doesn't tell you how many business deals she has lost. It doesn't tell you how many transactions she has lost. These people have also come out to say deplatform this individual. And so, no matter how high you are, because there's no entry barrier to social media, anybody can pull you down. And so that's why cancel culture, like I said, why this was meant to hold people accountable, it now becomes extremely scary. Because if someone more popular than you goes online and says something about you, or if the person is a cool kid online, it could ruin your reputation, your career, and your whole life. And then when people commit suicide, everybody starts saying, be kind. But we are still the same ones making excuses for the trolls and bullies, and not considering from the angle of those who are being bullied and being trolled. You know what I mean? I see what's happening with Desmond Elliot every day. Is it fair? Maybe people see it as banter, but I understand that it can be problematic. Was he wrong with what he did? Yes. But the truth of the matter is, we've seen it in elections in Nigeria. People are cancelled. Next election, they're still in power. And so we now start questioning the effectiveness. And so what I'm about is for people being able to express how they feel if and when they have researched on it and they are right. So like Chimamanda said, before you admit certain things, do your research. Find out about what it is and have a decision on your own, not because one popular person is agreeing to it or opposing to it, and then we just join the bandwagon. It's a big problem because it affects people's mental health and decisions they make about their life. And so,
Yeah.
yes, I agree, be tolerant, but be able to speak your truth if it matters to you.
Mm. Powerful words. Be able to speak your truth if it matters to you. But there's this trend also of somebody said is this one is a negative cancel culture now. But yesterday we saw the tampan ban of the actresses Nkechi Blessing Sunday and Iyabo Ojo for speaking against condemning the conduct of one of them, Babi Jesha, who is an actor. We know the story. Now, this issue came up, and people have been coming out to express their opinions of what they think about that ban. People who are not even members. These actresses are not members of the TAMPAN, which is in full Theatre Arts and Motion Pictures Practitioners Association of Nigeria. Now, what do you make, Annette, of this ban on actresses for speaking out against rape, alleged rape? What's your take?
Wow. I want to.
Your
Let
No,
me
I think
say,
something is wrong with your mic, your volume. Yes, you have to come closer to it.
can you,
Hmm.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So there's this trend that's been going on, sort of like a meme that society tells you what is illegal. Well, you should remember that back then slavery was also legal. I'm sure you've been seeing this spread around. And when I saw it, something clicked and I'm like, wait. So society defines what should be and what shouldn't be, right? What society is it the big, like Andy said, those ones that have like good presence in the social media? Is it those that have influence on social media? Is it those public figures that can do or say anything? Are they the ones making the rules of society? Is it like the government? Is it who is society that dictates what should be and what shouldn't be? And who is society who should be stoned and who shouldn't be? Yeah. So someone is talking about something that is dead to them, right? Alleged rape. Rape is a very big thing in Nigerian society. So if someone wants to maybe pull your career down, they just need to say rape. But if it's true, it's actually a big deal. Now, these actresses came out with heartfelt story, very angry. Why should I want to pin on another actor a rape story? Like I don't know why should someone want to play with rape? You understand where I'm coming from? Why do you want to allegedly play with rape? Why do you want to? And these are people of public figure. These are people that are supposed to be like role models for kids. These are people that are supposed to be like role models for the youth of Nigeria. And you want to stain someone's name with rape, knowing very well that that can actually rape kids. So I don't know why they have to be banned. Was an investigation conducted prior to the ban of this actresses? Did anyone ask like check out this actor's background? Did they actually find out if the rape was true or was it false? Did they dig into this matter? I understand that society like has their way of conduct, you understand that kind of thing, and the way they want to go about it and who should be right, who shouldn't be. But I don't think it's up to us to judge if you don't take adequate research, like investigation, if you don't research adequately. I don't think it's up to us to judge. Even the Bible says the way you judge, that's the way you will be judged. And moreover, remove the spirit from your own eyes before you remove the spirit from someone else's eyes. Why, like, what investigation or what ground was it this actress banned? And did it, did they actually check out the story? Is this story true? Is it fake? Is it like, what's up? Like, we just heard it. The story was sad. I heard the story. It's really, really sad. And the way the actresses came out, it doesn't look like something they want to allege on their co-worker, right? Society take their time
Okay.
to check this out. Did
Hmm.
the association check these allegations before banning the actresses? I'm not taking anyone's side here, but adequate research should be taken before a consequence is applied. Adequate
Okay.
investigation should be taken because some of us are doing worse things behind closed doors. And because no one is there to call us out on social media, we continue to do them. Some people are living in falsehood. If you see their social media and their actual lives, there is a contrast. But still, these are people that come on social media and stir out riot and stir up hate. Meanwhile, we don't know
Hmm.
what they're doing. We don't even know if they are the people hating or they are the people loving. And but because there's a trend, I want to start on this problem, like, let me get the truth, let me get likes, let people follow me, let me follow. Sometimes people do that. They do it just for that. For their
Okay.
followers
All
to
right.
increase or for their tweets to have like a say, come on, let's be truthful here. This consequences can work if we actually do our research. It can work if we are actually balancing the scale, not judging. It's not judging, but trying to balance the scale and trying get justice for those that
So,
can
what do you
in front
think?
of.
Yes, what do you think is the best way to even go about this? Like, what do you think is the best way youths or even associations can go about engaging people when they disagree with their opinions?
Well, I think for we live there when listening to someone else's opinion. It's not everything you know or your sense that has to believe. So you hear both sides of the story, right? My mom used to tell me that the story is never complete without the other side. So it's not because I run to my dad first and I'm like, oh my god, my sister's playing my dress, that I should be right, right? Or maybe because she normally steals before, I just come, maybe she normally steals before, and I come to my dad, "Hey, Dad, she stole my dress." I'm like, okay, because she normally steals, it's right. And probably this time around, she didn't. And because she's a like she normally does these things, we tag it and say, okay, this is what she did, so we take it like that. But that's not right. Normally, you're supposed to be neutral, listening to an opinion, listening to a discussion, be liberal, and then deliver your own opinion in terms of, okay, this is what I think.
Hmm.
It mustn't stand, it mustn't stick, but this is what I think. And with adequate analysis and adequate research, what you will arrive at a conclusion, right? That's how
Okay.
researchers are made. Researchers are
Okay.
made, like,
All right.
get a conclusion. How it's done. So I listen to part A, and then I go back without part A being there, listen to part B, and then I come back. I put both of them on the same platform because someone cannot lie against someone in front of the person. Let me tell you the truth.
All right.
Or in front of
Okay.
the
Let's
people,
let's also sample the views of others. Yes.
and we talk about it.
Thank you,
But
Alex.
society, once they hear rape, once they hear this thing, they're like, okay, okay. It's just a joke.
Hmm.
Oh my god. And then later you come back and you're like, oh my god, I wrongfully accused someone because I thought the allegations were heavy, so they should be right. Or because he's a man, or because of this and this. Come on. Make the
All right, so
choices.
let me hear from Andy, who is here now, what he thinks about this whole issue, this negative one that has come upon us from the entertainment industry, and how best do you think they should have gone about it without them canceling these actresses from even what they do, from what they do? Yes.
So this comes back to what I said about everybody being a moral police and
Mm-hmm.
being judge and jury. These two women do not even belong to your association, and you're canceling them, you're suspending them, and you're telling other people in the industry not to work with them. That shows you how much of how we become judge and jury. If you feel what these women have done is defamatory, take them to court and sue them for defamation. You know what I mean? Now,
Mm-hmm.
this case of the person who was alleged to be taking advantage of a young child and also rape, they had evidence. They had, I think, the fact that he had admitted, and it was stuff that they knew. And so it wasn't just like they were calling him out without reason or without proof. So in this case, you're now killing the messenger. I think this is the problem with cancel culture where Tampman or whatever it's called is now trying to cancel this woman. But interestingly, on social media yesterday, people were now canceling Jide Kosoko and all the actors and the head of the organizations that were trying to
So the
cancel this
cancel,
women.
the person who cancels becomes cancelled also. So all this
Exactly.
canceling going up and down, is that even the solution?
No, it's not, which is why I said to get
Mm.
this to work, we need stronger judicial systems. Because people have lost faith in the judicial system, that's why we have cancel culture today. And unfortunately, it wouldn't stop. What I would implore people to do is do your research some more. Look for proof, look for evidence. Yes, like Chimamanda said, people accuse you, go and learn, go and do your research. But yes, Google is free. And so if you have a problem, do some research, check about it. There's the case of the young girl who they alleged murdered some man about a week ago. I've seen at least four different stories about it. And so what I personally do now is when I see stories and issues, I take a day or two to think about it before I express myself. We
Mm.
cannot always be doing first to talk. Cancel culture is also first to talk because you want to
That's what,
show you
yes,
are
first to
informed.
talk.
You want to know. Do you understand? And so
So
I
when you're
realized,
ready, let's look at it this way. If you're going to take 2 days to think about it, when you're ready to now talk about it, the trend, everything might have died down, and people might not be talking about it. So that's another issue. Also, people look at before they're quick to judge or quick to
but,
comment on
sorry
issues.
to interrupt, but you know why that's very important. I've learned that
Yeah,
most times when I take that 1 or 2 days to think about it, at the end of the 2 days, I don't even have an opinion anymore. And I realize my opinion isn't necessary. So it's
you
not
see.
always about having an opinion. It's that the fact that you just realize your opinion isn't or wasn't necessary. And so you've
Mm.
stopped yourself from being judgmental or being foolish. And also you may have learned a little. And so it has helped me a whole lot. I just sometimes take a step back. If the trend dies, then it's supposed to die. But when
Mhm.
you see that it's a problem, then you can come speak out about it. We had the case of a pastor who was accused publicly last year by several people. What happened? The case somewhere or the other got bungled. The person is still a pastor. He still has his followers. Those who have cancelled have cancelled. Those who haven't haven't. And life has gone on. So until we strengthen the judiciary, what we need to do is, as individuals, take out time to process information before you react. That's the only way we can actually become more liberal and tolerant by taking
Yeah.
out time to process certain things before you act. But unfortunately, cancel culture is here to stay, but it's also losing its relevance.
How does this even affect the quality of discussions that we have now on social media? Okay, to conclude, let's bring aboard Damian Marrow. What do you have to say in conclusion to young people who are on social media, especially canceling who they don't agree with?
Yeah, please come again.
Okay, so we're
What do you have to
concluding
say in
now. So, what do you have to
conclusion?
say to young people on social media? Some of them who are canceling people who they don't agree with or where they have diverse opinions. Damien? Okay, so oh, he can hear me or something. Something is wrong with his connection. But finally, we'll do this again maybe some other time. But what are your final thoughts, Anne?
Hello.
Yes, Annette, what are your final thoughts as we wrap up?
Okay.
My final thoughts will be to the
Yeah.
youths, and that would be please do not jump on the moving trend. We don't all move the trend that will get into your destination. So bargaining this council culture, just be yourself. You mustn't react. You mustn't uh, be part of the discussion. You mustn't be part of the trend. Like social media is for you to sell yourself and sell your business and sell your personality, not to destroy others, right? So you're there for a purpose. You're there to connect with the world, to connect with the world and move on with your life. If the story has nothing to do with you, and even if it doesn't have anything to do with your principles, just let it go. You don't have to comment. You don't have to reply. You don't have to react. You you don't. And even if you have
Mm,
to, take your time, deep,
okay.
like dig deeper before
Mm,
bringing it out, so that when you bring out something, it's valuable, it makes sense to to
mm,
right minds. Let's cultivate right minds, positivity. Let's cultivate that amongst ourselves. I tell you, the youth of Nigeria, don't be quick to judge, because as you're quick to judge, someone is quick to judging you. And don't forget, we are all flawed. So there is a stick in your eye before you go remove the stick out of someone else's eye or your neighbor's eye, until you are holier than thou. And even Jesus said it, until you are
mm.
no sin can you be able to judge someone that is sinful. So if you know you are sinful in your cupboard, in your hiding place, please don't come to the public and try to be a Mary.
Thank
No,
you.
be
You
yourself
said
through it
it. You
all.
said it
Stand
so
for what you stand
beautifully.
for. Let us move
Mhm.
forward.
Thank you so much, Annette. Annette Bodea is a training consultant. And also, sorry, Damian, we can't hear you because you're moving on the road and the connection isn't so perfect. But Damian Marrow is a techpreneur and he also gave us his opinion on the cancel culture. And finally, Andy Madaki, thank you for doing this with us as always. He is a communication expert. And should I say, do you want to add anything for a second? Okay, the second is gone.
I just want, like I
Thank
say,
you.
think before you talk. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So cancel culture it is. How effective is it in affecting social change? And so they have given us their opinions and saying that we should take our time as young people to think about the topic of discussion before commenting. Don't be the first to comment. You see it in the comment section, first to comment. All right. Thank you for doing this with us. Hopefully, we'll have you join us next time. And for all of you who joined us on YouTube, Facebook, thank you for taking our time with us. Please drop a comment. So we'll react to it as we see them coming. This show was produced by Naija Ikeji. My name is Sylvia Ishiwi. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye for now. Bye.